Oh, is it Sunday already? Today's topic, I named the video A Labor of Love. And, okay. Oh, my dad's home. It's like, is that the front door? So today's topic is A Labor of Love. And I am utterly exhausted. I've been sitting here concentrating really hard and thinking about, like, what to write. And how to write it and how to present it in a way that would resonate well with the reader. And I just, like, there's a lot of tweaking, there's a lot of revision, there's a lot of, like, brainstorming, and it's a labor of love. And I think about, nothing really worth having is easy to achieve, right? Because it was really, my face looks really bright. Let's see if I can focus it. Nothing really worth having is worth achieving, right? Like, nothing worth having is easy to achieve. Like, if I think about our college degree, our master's degrees, our CPA, a fulfilling job, climbing up the mountain, climbing the summit, having a view at the top, running a marathon, running a half marathon, running a 5K, running a mile, starting an exercise routine, anything, right? Like, anything that we really desire to do, and something that we not only to desire to do, but to do wholeheartedly, to do with alignment, to do with, like, all of our energy and all of our focus. Like, it takes something. It really does. And I was so confronted with that once I sat today and I typed and I typed and I typed and I revised and typed and revised and got feedback and typed and revised, and my brain is just fried. And I was like, okay, I need a reprieve. I'm gonna go live and talk about it or something and get some stuff out. And I was thinking, that was such a labor of love. When when you really care to do something right, like, it takes focus, it takes intention, it takes energy, and it takes energy, and I'm a little pooped. Yeah. So, next time when you think about something you do and you think about, gosh, it's so much work, I should just throw in the towel, I should just quit, F it, right? Like, forget it. I'm just going to give up. Like, one of the things that my coach always says is, she doesn't think about the process. She doesn't think about the doing. She thinks about how you would like it to be after it's done, right? Like, if you think, I want to eat delicious food, I want to eat that cookie, you're always going to want to eat that cookie. But if you think of it as, how would I like to be after I've eaten? Like, how do I feel after that thing? And if you thought about, like, how crappy you felt after you ate, like, 5 cookies versus, like, how amazing, light, and energized you feel after you eat a salad, you're going to go for the salad. But the key is, you don't think, I want that cookie, or, ugh, I don't want to eat that salad. You instead think, how would I like to be and feel after that action has happened? Like, no one goes, I'm so excited, I'm going to run a half marathon. I'm so excited, I'm going to run on the treadmill. Like, no one thinks that, right? But if you think, like, after I do a workout, after I hit the gym, after I run, like, I feel so good. I feel so energized. And so the key is to think, how would you have liked to be after the action has taken place? Like when I was writing and revising and writing, like, I was in the thick of it, and I totally forgot to think, well, how would you like to feel? Like, how would the payoff be? Like, how do you desire to be after that thing is written beautifully and perfectly and it's really in tune with the audience? Like, what is your desire? And then if I think of it that way, then I'm not so, like, stuck on, like, the process and how challenging it is, how tough it is, the work and the effort that it requires to actually get the work done. Like, it's such a different way of being, and it's a really different way of thinking. It's thinking big picture, is thinking about, like, the thing that's already happened, and it's so profound. Like, it goes into so many areas of our life. Like, if we think about, like, 120 years from now, you know, like on your deathbed or the day, your last day on this earth, like, and you reflect back on your life, like, how do you desire to see your life? And if you think of it that way, there are many things we would shift right now, right? Like, we would not be farting around and abusing our bodies and not taking care of ourselves. Like, we would think twice about not brushing our teeth or eating something that is not really conducive to living 120 years of like health and vitality. Like, when you think that far out and you think, okay, how would I like to be at that point in my life? It takes away and it clarifies so many actions you would do today, right? So many. And and so that is my challenge to you. You know, when you feel like you are at your wit's end, or you feel like, oh, this thing I'm in the middle of, this thing, it sucks so badly. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I'm so done. You know, just F it. When you are in that kind of mindset, take a moment to pause and think instead, okay, how do I desire to be after this experience has taken place, right? How do I visualize it to be? And then what action is there to take to get to that point? And when you think of it that way, then what you're dealing with doesn't seem so bad, because you know about the end result, you know about the payoff, right? There's something rewarding about knowing when something is completed, like you know, like the powerful workout, the sweating and the moving your body and eating something healthy and feeling great about it, or having a very empowering, meaningful conversation with someone, right? Like, you might dread it up to the point, but then think about like how it's going to be after, and that always helps you dive in and do it anyways, right? Like, if you think of the payoff, then you're like, is it worth it? Yeah, of course it's worth it. Okay, then what is there to do? Yeah, what is there to do? Whatever there is to do to get that payoff, right? Like, if I think about like my kids, and I think about like what kind of parent I desire to be for them, and what kind of life coach I like to be for them, and what kind of human being would they have with what kind of principles and what kind of morals and what kind of like foundations and stuff. Like, in the midst of it, I can be like, oh, potty training sucks, sleep training sucks, like, oh, you know, like like stepping on toys suck. And I can think and be really caught up in that. Or I can think, gosh, like, what's it going to be like when they're in their teens, in their 20s, and when they have a bigger handle on life, and when they get a lot of concepts that I'm going to teach them now and later, so that they can be really transformed, actualized human beings and souls. Like, right? Like, when you think that far out and you think like, what's the end result? Like, what will it look like after it's all happened? Like, then the potty training and thing, it doesn't seem that big of a deal, because it's just part of the process. You do what there is to do. Yesterday, if you caught my video, I talked about, the topic was resistance to my sexuality and orgasmic words. And I also kind of talked into like life coaching. And one of the things I referred to about life coaching is I said that I have an amazing life coach. And yes, as a life coach, I also have a life coach. And I said one of the deeply, profoundly amazing things about having a life coach, and having an amazing life coach, is I've learned over the years that, or over the few months, it feels like years because so much has transformed, so much has happened, that, you know, before I thought I could never step into the shoes of my powerhouse, badass coach. And what I've realized over the last few months and over this last year is, as a life coach, there is nothing I could give you that you do not already have. Just like my coach, her name is Lauren, there's nothing she could give me that I don't already have. What she merely does is she points out and guides me to the tools and how to access what I already have. And so I was just thinking, like, you know, I share with you all the time, hey, I'm a life coach. If you're looking for a life coach in your life, you know, talk to me, reach out to me, and see if I'm for you, if you're for me, and see what there is to see. And one of the things I failed to share with you is after you have a life coach, your life is transformed in a massively powerful way because you truly get access to taking ownership and taking control and having power about how you desire to live your life. And you start living into it. You live into the life you envision. You live into fulfilling your soul's purpose. And you live into accessing and tapping and being the powerhouse, the badass, the infinitely powerful, the multiverse manifestation of you. Like, you really get it and you really live into it and you really have access to it. But the thing is, you already have those things. Like, you already are those things. Like, I could not give you anything to empower you in those ways. Like, those things already exist within you. Like, you already are that thing. You are already a being of light. You are already a son, a daughter, a child of God. That is who you already are. The only thing is, you might not know that is who you are. You may not know about your divinity. You may not know of your true origin and where you really came from and what you came here to do, and that you actually have power to live into that energy. You get to live into that role if you desire it to be so. Like, many of us just don't know. Like, we're like, what? I can create my life of fulfillment. I can have a meaningful life. I can have deep, powerful conversations every day. I can have a wonderful, healthy, loving, communicating, fully express, not repressed, not inhibited conversation with my spouse, my loved one, my significant other, without like fear of being judged or being okay with being judged. Like, that is actually a possibility. And yeah, the answer is a resounding yes. Yes, you absolutely do have access to all those things. You just don't know. I had no idea. And now that I know, of course I'm going to share that with you. And of course, as a life coach, I would empower you to live that kind of life. And of course, as a life coach, I would never stand for you to be less than who you truly are capable of being. What's the point, right? What's the point? What's the point of incarnating into this human form on this planet if you're not being the powerhouse that you truly are? Like, that's just living a subpar life. Not that there's anything wrong with it. Like, everyone's on their own journey. Everyone is on their whatever number of reincarnation. There's no right or wrong way to do things. What I've really learned is the multiverse, the universe, does things in really effective ways. There's a reason why a bubble is circular. There is a reason why the beehive honeycomb is hexagonal in shape. It's just the strongest, most effective, most efficient way to be. And of course, that's the way it exists. So if you got to choose between many, many paths to the same destination, which is your fully actualized, fully expressed, soul aligned, soul expansive self, of course you would pick the path that is the fastest and the most efficient, right? It is the best way to really maximize your life, your lifetime here in this reincarnation, of course. And I'm telling you, the fastest way to do that is to have a life coach in your life. To have a life coach in your life. To have a guide. To have someone who's done there, who's been there. One who's been through the thick of it. And it's between the ages of 35 and 45 is when you have the most enlightenment and the most clarity about the kind of person, the soul and expansive life you like to live. Yes, sweetheart. You smell like candy. Have you been eating strawberries?
No, I ate the gummies that are from the birthday party.
You ate the strawberry gummies from the birthday party. Do you want to come and say hi? You want to stay in the chair?
Can you turn on the TV? Because I don't know how to spell Super Mario Bros.
Okay, well, just give me a minute and then I'll turn it on for you, okay? Okay, thank you. He just came back from the arcade with Everett. And he has a little Mario toy that he's super excited about that he won. And now he's obsessed with the Luigi Mansion Dark Moon game, where they suck up the ghosts. Right, Austin? Yes, that's his thing. He's done with the Ninja Turtle games. He's moved on to the Luigi Mansion.
Hey, Mama,
Yes, sweetheart.
my Mario stuff.
You're going to feed your Mario some milk?
Okay, Austin.
So, what is there to say? Oh yes, get a life coach in your life. I'm a life coach, And if it's not me, it could be anyone else. Find someone who resonates with you. But have a life coach in your life, and your life will be utterly transformed. And if you're not sure, like you're like, everything that Tuan talks about, it sounds really wonderful. Like, of course, I would like to have a powerful relationship with my husband and my spouse, or my significant other. Of course, I would like to have a relationship with my mom where I'm not triggered by anything she says. Of course, I'd like to talk to her as a empowered person. Of course, I would like to tap into and tune and live into my soul expanded, soul aligned life. Of course, I would love to be the most powerful life coach possible for my kids and myself. Of course. If all of that really resonates deeply with you, and you know that sounds so good, you just have no idea how to possibly live into it, how to possibly access it, then that is where you reach out to me. You can call me, you can email me, you can send me a comment, you can send me a message. There are multiple ways to get my attention, to reach out to me. I don't care how you get to me, just get to me. So there's no, I don't care how you get to me, just get to me, right? Like, there's no wrong way to do it. Just get my attention. And if you're in the local Dallas area, we can have lunch, we can have coffee, we can talk. If you're not a coffee person, we can drink tea. We can go to the juice bar. Like, there's so many ways to connect and to talk, to see what having a life coach is like in your life, and if I'm for you. And it's very powerful. Once you have a life coach, you don't go back, and I shared with this in the video yesterday that I had this dream that I committed suicide twice, and I didn't die. And I asked my mom, like, hey Mom, that's a really disturbing dream, like, what was that about? And she goes, well, it sounds like that you are living 3 lifetimes in one. Like, you're making advanced acceleration in your life because of whatever way you're living it. And I sincerely believe that I truly am maximizing this life. And there's so many aspects to it, like my meditation practice, my vegan diet, my living into my soul purpose, and living in a way that is soul aligned, and looking for opportunities to always live in a phase of expansion and growth, like, of course, right? And I think a huge factor of all of this, especially maximizing my life, is having a life coach in my life. Because when you have a life coach in your life, your life coach hears and listens very closely to what you're saying. And he or she doesn't allow you to get away with anything slippery. She doesn't allow you to use disempowering words. She doesn't allow you to get away with being less than who you truly are capable of being. She will call you out on your doo-doo, all of your inner doo-doo. And she'll ask you to get your doo-doo together. Like, why don't you have your doo-doo in order? And when she does, you can't help but be confronted with how you're living your life, the words you're using that may be disempowering you, and how you could be living your life, and how you may choose to transform it. You may choose to be happy, and choose to be happy no matter what your circumstances are. You may choose to own everything that happens in your life, and you may choose to see it with intention and meaning and power, like you may. And when you do, it's very powerful. But unless you even see it, unless someone actually points it out to you, unless you have like these deep, powerful conversations, these transformative sessions with these life-altering sessions with your life coach, like, you're not even aware of them. Like, you keep trying to change into this lane, but there's something in your blind spot, and you're like, I keep trying to change it when I can't change into it. Well, guess what? Your life coach will say, hey, do you know you have about this block, this trigger right here that's in your lane? Of course you can't change to the lane. You either slow down and let that thing pass by, or you speed up and get around it. But, like, you're not going to see that blind spot. Like, you can't even see it. But your life coach will see that blind spot, and she will point it out to you, and then you can decide what you want to do about it. Just being aware about it is, like, one of the first things you can do. And it's so cool. It's so transformative. It's so powerful. So, if you love this video today, please share it. If you know someone in your life that you think would resonate with me and my message and is looking for or could really benefit from or desire to have a life coach in their life, think of me and refer me to them or give me their information, and I'll reach out to them and we can have a quick chat, a quick little interview. And if you wouldn't mind, I would love it if you would go to my like page. It's called Soul, S-O-U-L, Elevated Life. Soul Elevated Life. You'd go to my page and like it, and then share it with your friends or your network of people that you think would really resonate with it and benefit from it. That would be wonderful, because one of my manifestations each day is that my message is received by millions of people. And I can only do it by one video share at a time, one like at a time. So I need all your help I could get. So if you could pray with me, if you can set intentions for me, you can send some love and support my way. And if you could share my stuff and my information, I would be so grateful. I'd be so grateful. Thank you. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your support. And what should I send you today other than this love I just poured out into this video for you? I send you love, light, pure energy for healing, peace, infinite clarity, and infinite possibility and power to create the life you desire to live that is soul expansive and soul aligned for you and your soul purpose. Here's you living a soul elevated life, and I'll see you tomorrow. Sending you lots of love.